Welcome back to my channel. This is Russell with Russell Does Stuff. It's about 7:30 in the morning and I've already been up with the chickens doing my chores. Feed the dogs, walk the dogs, hydrate me. When I was at the boys club as a young man, there was this leader that they had working for us. His name's Scott. And sometimes people tell you things and they'll leave an impact on your life. And he always preached brushing your teeth twice a day. Now, this isn't what this video is about, but I've never forgotten that. So I always brush my teeth twice a day. And he didn't mean, once in the morning and then right again at 10 o'clock, when you get up and before you go to bed. And when you're in the boys club, they pack you into a group of 20 or so. And we all played together, ate together. It was like a small prison for boys. And, we had some kids that would escape and eventually get caught, and they were drugged back to the boys club. And they made them do laundry. They had a big swimming pool at this boys club. And the bad kids were always doing laundry. So if you got caught going through the locker room to get to the pool or the basketball courts, you would get jumped and they would drag you into the laundry area and they made you fold clothes. Now, that's a lot of towels. I mean, the towels were stacked 6 feet in the air, and this room was probably 20 by 20, and it had a half door that swung open and closed. And they would set towels on top of the door when it was, your group's turn to swim, which was probably once a week. This place was creative enough to have high dives at their pool. I mean, Olympic size height diving boards. And if you were peer pressured enough into doing some of that stuff, like I was, jump, I thought, all right, I'm not going to jump off this diving board, but I'll sit on the edge and then I'll fall over, and then, I'll have a safe landing in the water. Well, this redneck don't know how to swim or dive. So I went face first, belly first, right into this sheet of water, knocked the wind out of me. I had red marks all over me. I crawled out of the pool and I went and sat in the stands. And one kid came over and asked me if I was all right, and that was about it. Rub dirt on it and get back to things. This video is about employees. I've had a lot of employees, probably 60 employees. I've had probably as many dogs as employees, maybe the same. If I count the dogs I've rescued and owned, it's about 60. Employees, about 60, I've had a lot of strange and non-wonderful experiences through my employer-employee relationship. I tried to provide them with a stable income, a stable job, security, benefits, and a good working atmosphere, I've had my truck stolen. I've had my truck stolen a few times. I've had a lot of work trucks, and I've had employees steal them. I've had my company card taken to Mexico, and my employee was treating his whole family on company moolah. I've had cell phones stolen, company cell phones stolen. I've had employees get seriously injured at my cabinet shop. I've had. I went on vacation one year, which I shouldn't have done, and let them work. They were robbing me blind while I was walking around a mall in South Carolina. They were stealing materials, doing side work, and not doing their job, you know. So when I got back from that trip, the guy I put in charge of everything, I drug him into the office, and he confessed to all the criminal activity that was going on while I was away. So someone told me once that you want to keep the good employees good and then make the bad employees good. That's not easy to do. You know, everybody's paddling around in their own ship, you know. Employees will answer applications and stuff, fill out applications, answer your want ad for a job, and then their motive is most of the time different than what they tell you in an interview. I've had employees, they just needed a couple days worth of work. I've had employees where they needed a couple months worth of work. We've all done it. We've all taken a job, and as soon as we raised enough money to haul butt to Texas, we did, you know. It's not an honest way to go about doing things, but, you know, I remember as a kid, you know, I hired on somewhere, and as soon as I made the money that I needed, I blew town. Do I feel bad about it now? Yeah. You know, now I'm older and I understand the situations and stuff that I put those people in, you know. When I was a kid, I had, you know, I said I had a lawn service, and when it got too big and I got bored with it and my friends were doing this and that in the neighborhood and not mowing lawns, I quit mowing some of them. We had a telephone on the wall back then, and those customers were calling me up. Where's Russell at? You know, my grass ain't been cut in 2 weeks. And Mom would look at me, you know, the guy down the road's calling. You know, you want to talk to him? I'm like, no, you know. So I'm a lot more responsible than that now. I would have a lot bigger company if I had better employees. I figured out my strengths weren't managing qualities. My qualities were sales, creative, waste management, all that kind of stuff. I wasn't a good manager. I wanted to be my employees' buddy. I wanted to be their friends, you know, and that doesn't work. So I hired managers to manage the circus because I wanted to be a part of the circus. You know, hey, let's go get lunch, and you know, oh, we worked too hard today, guys, or it's just started sprinkling out. Let's go home. You know, I wanted my employees to like me instead of respect and work hard for me. You know, and that was a lesson I learned a little too late in life. You know, this last kid that I hired, Brandon, I didn't want him to like me, but I wanted him to respect me. But he came into this whole crapshoot thinking, you know, he was gonna steal all my stuff and get away with it. Which, you know, I've gotten a big piece of equipment back, but he still has a bunch of other stuff, and I have round 2 of that court case coming up. Another thought I had this morning was this. Today I'm going to pay myself. I'm going to take my business checkbook out and I'm going to write the world's most beautiful name in it, Russell. And in the section where it says for, I'm going to put me. And I'm going to write myself a big, fat, juicy check. And I'm going to take it down to the bank, dressed like this, and I'm going to deposit it. Because when you own a corporation, that's what you do. You have to write yourself a check. You have to keep track of all that stuff. So I wanted to do it last week, but I get distracted. I'm like a rabbit, here and there and everywhere. So I'm going to do that. One of my biggest faults in business was I didn't pay myself first. You're supposed to pay yourself first. I never did that. When the ship was aloft and the masks were out and the wind was at our favor, I always paid myself last. When the ship was sinking and the masks were destroyed, I paid myself last. I felt that paying everybody else first was the right thing to do. I have been told by a higher authority that you pay yourself first. I never thought about that much. So with this business, I started paying myself first, okay? I need to reap the rewards of this business also. My employees should not be the only ones reaping the benefits of this business. It's just a habit. Anybody can change habits. And there's bugs out in the morning because bugs gotta eat too. So if you get anything out of this video, remember to pay yourself first. Even if you have a set amount and you can't reach that goal that week or every 2 weeks. I paid myself every 2 weeks. Now I don't have any employees. I pay myself every 2 months, maybe 3 months. The money's in that account anyway, whether I do it last week or today, okay? But it's always smart to get it out of there because I'm always buying parts for this and that, and I've gotten better with my spending habits. So, but pay yourself first. It will make you feel better and different, okay? Put that business to work for you. It's a smart thing to do. So this is Russell with Russell Does Stuff, and this is some of my thoughts this morning. And I thought I would share them with you guys. I appreciate every one of you who's subscribed. I'm going to do a video on selling. We all have to sell. We all should keep our sword sharp. I like Alex Mermozy or whoever he is. He's got the breed strip on his nose, and he's got long hair, and he just looks like a Viking. He's just, I like some of his stuff. He had a video yesterday that I liked, talking about how you spend your money. And it's interesting that I have some of these habits that he talks about. And I like that. It's like, hey, I'm doing something this guy's doing. Will I ever be as wealthy and rich as him? No, because I didn't have his brain, I didn't have his drive, I didn't have his determination, I didn't have his contacts, I didn't have any of the things that made him as wealthy as he is. And that's okay. I like what I have. I tried to be wealthy like that a few times, and it didn't happen, and that's okay. So if you're just passing through and this isn't your thing, come back in a few weeks. I'm doing a video on one of the investments I made. We can all laugh together at Russell. Like and subscribe. Help a guy out, even if this isn't your thing. All right, until the next one, this is Russell.